Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, it's the only thing that I ask. So quick update, we've had a bit of a pullback in the crypto market. We've had the Bitcoins around 112k as I'm recording this, and Ethereum is around 4,150. It may change by the time that I upload, I don't know. But basically we're seeing this pullback. The Fear and Greed Index is almost at fear. Actually, I suspect that by tomorrow, when it resets in CoinMarketCap, you'll see it at fear, which is good. That means the price of Bitcoin is at the all-time highs, but instead of being at extreme greed, we are at fear. That's good. It's a good sign. Stocks have been doing nothing but making new all-time highs. Gold has been pulling higher and higher, which is quite good. So basically, because I've seen this, so I have to re-say it again. What gold is doing at the moment is basically kind of recovering or kind of moving as a, if you want to call it, a way to catch up from the years that it has basically completely underperformed. So obviously people like Peter Schiff, etc. are super excited, and this is great for them because they can sell you their funds. You can go and buy their gold, do all of these things. What you need to understand is that gold has these moments where it basically plays catch up quite aggressively. You see, the issue, and none of the gold bugs will ever tell you this, because otherwise they cannot sell you their gold, is if you adjust the price of gold, like you should, for the money supply increase and the CPI, gold needs to go to $6,500 just to break even from the 2011 top. And it needs to go to $54,000, you heard it, $54,000 to break even from the 1980s top. This is basically not to make money. This is just to break even. Okay. Obviously, if you bought at lower prices, you don't need as much. That's valid for everything. I'm picking the tops because this is what the gold bugs do when they compare to Bitcoin, is to compare it to the tops. So I do the same thing. Now, is this a thing only of gold? No. The reality is that if you adjust for money supply increase and inflation and CPI, the S&P and real estate is pretty much on par with it. It actually outperforms a little bit, like 1-2%. And the only thing that really overtakes this is tech stocks and Bitcoin. That's it. Those are, and crypto in general. So that's the only thing that beats the money supply increase, which translates into asset price inflation, and the consumer price inflation. So basically, those two assets are the only thing in which you actually increase your purchasing power, which is the purpose of it, right? That's why you invest. So you have more power in the future to buy stuff. They'll never tell you this because it doesn't fit the narrative. Now, what you need to understand is gold has these moves in decades, and usually the biggest moves come right at the end. Example, 1970, gold was $35. 1980 was $850. That's a 24x. 2000, gold was $200. 2011, gold was $1,900. So give or take 10x. 2015, 2025, 2015 it was 1,050, the bottom, and now it's 3,800 or so, which is about 3.6, 3.7x. So 24x, 10x, 3.4x, or 3.7x. So, and usually the biggest moves come right at the tail end. So keep that in mind. I'm not predicting the top of gold. I'm not saying that gold cannot go higher. I think it can. But also be careful and just check what happens every year after 40% plus rises. in the price of gold. Just look at it. Don't take my word for it. We live in the magic world. It's even better than Google. So now you have ChatGPT and all of these things that actually make the research for you. See what happens. So basically, nominally, yes, it's been making some all-time highs. In real terms, it's very far off still. Basically, gold needs almost to double to break even from 2011. Can we get there? Sure. We can get there. Gold is like the other assets. It's priced in dollars and euros and yen. And as long as those currencies kept getting devalued, then gold, stocks, real estate, Bitcoin, everything will keep on moving higher if you give it any meaningful amount of time. Of course, if you give, but it's down this week, okay, then fine, okay. If your time horizon is a week, then yes. If it's longer than that, then you should be fine. Now, in days like this, or weeks like this, that you remember I made a few videos saying that I did expect some correction between mid to late September. And today we had the Fed Powell talking and basically hinting that stocks are overvalued. Now he decides to comment on stocks, which is quite surprising to me, but that's a different story. The market, particularly the stock market, is starting to price in for perfection. That means that anything that comes a little bit wrong will have bigger impacts than you would expect. So basically, Powell says something. Okay, it can go down 1% immediately for no good reason, or 2% immediately. A number comes worse than expected, sell off immediately. Something happens, sell off immediately. It's normal. We've seen this many times. We price for perfection, something imperfect happens, the market corrects, and then it starts to price perfection all over again, over and over and over again. That's all that's happening. Now, the fundamentals are the key. What are the fundamentals? At least for crypto and for asset prices in general. Is the money supply increasing? Yes. Is the deficit spending continuing? Yes. Will there be more rate cuts? Yes. Is the market in fear and greed? In fear? It will be tonight. So that's a good thing. Are people starting to panic? Yes. What else? Is more money pumping gonna come? Oh yes, particularly as we approach May 2026 and when we have the new Fed announcement of who's gonna replace Powell. So that's gonna be a crazy one. Does BlackRock is super into crypto? Yes. Is Trump super into crypto? Yes. Is the regulatory environment better than it used to be? Yes. Is September typically a bad month for crypto? In general, yes. Is October and November very good months for crypto? Typically the best ones. And we are resetting the sentiment. This is very important. We are not going into October and November in maximum greed already. We are going in fear. Can you believe that? We are going to the best 2 months of the year in fear. What's happening, and this crypto is very interesting for this case. Crypto is the first time that retail won before institutionals. So usually the way that things go is institutional market, BlackRock, Fidelity, Amundi, Antin, etc., they win. We get the leftovers. So if we are winning 10x, they are winning 100x. See what I mean? If you're making a 10x on your investment, they made 50x. And usually that's how it goes. Some of us, most of retail will lose. So most of the market is a transfer of wealth from the traditionally called the dumb money, the retail, into the big players. In this case, the dumb money, the schizos, the autists, they figured out crypto before the institutions did. So by the time that the institutions are making a 10x, retail is making 1,000x. So that's a very different dynamic from what it used to be. So here is where I'm gonna enter a bit a conspiracy theory. Okay, because I don't have evidence of this, so I have to make the disclaimer. This is my own way of thinking. If I'm an institution, and I know that for the first time ever, retail has outplayed me, and I'm starting to enter and have more and more meaningful position in the market, in the asset class, what can I do to correct the mistake of not being involved from the beginning? In other words, how can I make up for lost time versus the dumb retail that this time they figured it out a little bit ahead of us? Oh, I know. I'm gonna bore them to death. I'm gonna bore them so much that they will start panicking and selling their crypto. And I'm gonna buy it. Because what I care is about the number of coins that I have, not so much about the dollar value of them. Because if I need dollars, I have a direct line to the people who create those dollars. You see the point? I can get more of those dollars anytime I want. But what I can't have is all those coins until someone is convinced to sell them to me. My feeling, and we've seen this cycle quite a bit, is we break out and we go higher. And you remember what I told you? What did I tell you? There's going to be a point when Bitcoin was 90 plus K, I said, Bitcoin's going to go to 112K. One day, Bitcoin will go to 112 and you're going to feel bearish. Remember that when Bitcoin was 90K, everybody was, oh my God, if this thing can go to 112K, this is going to be the best feeling ever, right? And I said, and the 112K was like the big number that everybody wanted to see. And I said, before you know it, that number will feel very bearish. And people didn't believe me. So I had to say something different. I said, one of these days, or months, call it months, Bitcoin will be 140K, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, right? And it's going to feel bearish. Think about what I'm saying right now. If I told you today, Bitcoin's going to go to 140, 150K, you'd be very, very happy. There's going to be a time when Bitcoin's going to go to 140, 150K, and you'll feel like crap. Breakout in 2-3 weeks, consolidation. Boring. Okay, everybody, forget crypto. This is breakout. Oh my God! Right at the top, line filled with leverage because you missed the breakout because you got out. So now you missed the breakout. So what do? You compensate with leverage. And then you have a correction to flesh out your leverage position, to punish you for not believing and trying to compensate with leverage when you should have had belief. So you get washed out. And now we don't move for a while, and now we break up again in 2-3 weeks, and now everybody gets left behind. Except, as this is happening, the institutions that have lost its first mover advantage are gaining more and more coins as this exercise plays out. And it's quite amazing to see. You see this everywhere. And you can see this. It's very simple. You see the big retail wallets that are getting smaller, and the big institutional wallets, not every day or every week, but over any extended period of time, are growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So their strategy is working. I mean, this is, as I said, this is my own conspiracy theory, so take it at face value. So what do I think is going to happen? I think the fundamentals are all up. Maybe not this week, maybe not the first week of October, but I think until the fundamentals change, that this thing will keep going higher. Is business cycle close to 60? No, it's not even about 50. Is liquidity crashing? No. Is it going up? Yes. What about deficit spending? Oh, we just did a record last month again. So why would I think that the cycle is over? Always think about this. It's nice to guess for fun. like to pass the time. Say by November 15, this is gonna do that, right? It's funny. It's funny. You come here, we laugh a little bit. It's great. It's good to pass the time, right? Don't marry your predictions. Your predictions is you think that the conditions will be a certain way in the future to justify your price prediction. But if those conditions don't materialize, then obviously your prediction stops making sense. The problem is people marry themselves to that prediction. So basically, it has to be on that month, on that day. Otherwise, I don't count it as real. Example, I'm going to sell in October 2025 because that's the end of the 4-year cycle. I don't care if we are in extreme fear. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to say, it doesn't matter if liquidity is exploding. I'm just going to sell everything on that day. So these are people that are married to their predictions. They're married to the concept of being right on the day instead of following the fundamentals. Don't guess. Follow the fundamentals. If they change, you change. If they don't change, you don't change. And if you want to pass the time, because we all need some entertainment in our lives, you just say, bah, I think by December 2025, this is going to happen. See what I mean? And you live off of it. In any case, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, like and subscribe. It's the only thing that I ask you. And please drop that comment in the comment section. Just be respectful, guys. You can insult me, that's fine. Never my family. Apart from that, I'm a very easygoing guy. And I'll catch you in the next one.